Welcome to another Brewer's Friend tutorial. You looking for a beer? You can't have this one. It's long gone. I mean long gone. Like 5 or 6 years long gone. I was going back through my photos to see if I could find an old extract recipe or beer that I had brewed. I'm not sure this is it. This might actually be, it almost looks like one of the first all grain recipes I brewed, a blonde ale. It's certainly a tasty beer, though, and I do love the Sam Adams Weiss beer glass. However, that is not a Hefeweizen sitting in it. But I'm going to show you how you can find beer at Brewer's Friend. If you are looking for beer recipes, I kind of want to show you how to use the search feature, because there are a couple things you should pay attention to. One of them being whatever you last searched for or whatever you last had your filter set to is going to remain up. And that could hinder you, especially if it's like one of these and you don't notice that you had American Amber Ales selected. Though everything you're going to find is going to be under that, and that might frustrate you if you didn't realize that you have to hit this little X here to get rid of it or select another one. One of the first things you should probably do is decide on a unit to search under. Though the recipe, like if you're going to brew straight from the recipe as it is, then you certainly want to make sure you're under the right unit because you won't be able to adjust anything. If you're going to copy it, then you should be able to go ahead and convert it over from metric to US or vice versa. However, I still recommend trying to find a recipe based on how you brew. So if that's US, then here you go. You got US, everything's going to come up in gallons versus liters, etc. The other thing you probably want to look for is how do you brew? Are you an extract brewer? Are you brewing a bag brewer? Partial mash, etc.? Let's say we're extract. We're going to start looking at extract kits or extract recipes that people created based in US. So now let's see if maybe there are any award winners. Whoa, so apparently there's a few award winners here. That might be something to consider. We could turn that feature off and it'll probably bring us back to a nice long line. So you can see how that using award winning kind of reduced our amount of recipes. Let's see if there's any award winning. Oh geez, this feature gets hard because you gotta there's so many different types of beer these days. Any award winning Kolsch's out there in extract? No, I guess not. Hellesbach? Probably not. We could X this out altogether and just look through what award winners there were. Porters, IPAs, brown ales. So, a Paulaner Hefeweizen clone. Nice. So, these are just certain ways you can use this feature. You could also just type in a keyword. But again, you want to either make sure you have certain criteria, or if you don't care how you brew and you're willing to adjust fire, go with that. Another handy feature is to go ahead and open one of these. And you can tell people, somebody here put in a lot of really good notes for you to follow. It tells you the boil size. This is important if you're an extract brewer. I guess it's important for any brewer, but if you're not going to copy this recipe and tweak it to fit your equipment setup, then you're going to want to pay attention to the boil size. So this person is doing a full size boil. Some of us extract brewers tend to do partial boils and then top up. Well, if you're one of those, that's going to adjust your IBUs. So your IBUs here at 70, if you were to do a partial boil with this recipe and not realize that they do things differently than you do, you're going to cut those IBUs down probably to the 50s. So it's important to know that, again, it's the same way if you're a full-size boil individual and you choose a recipe that somebody's been using as a partial boil, your IBUs are going to jump up because now there's more water liquid to absorb or to get better utilization out of your hops, and there's less concentrated wort. So pay attention to those things. What's something else you should probably pay attention to? Certainly your time, and then what the efficiency is set at. You can see this individual. The efficiency is going to be based on your steeping grains. So depending on, this one has steeping grains. Not sure if this one has any as well, but it might. This person's set at 30. This person's set at 70. That's quite a big difference. However, there's a minimal amount of steeping grains, I assume, in these recipes. So, you know, your OG here, your original gravity may adjust slightly. One way you can kind of forego all of that is to select the recipe and then make a copy of it, and then edit the copy and ensure that you have your equipment profile selected. If that's the case, I usually like to leave 2 windows open so that you can see the original recipe and then see your recipe and try to rematch the numbers that were originally there. Not to make things complicated, you can certainly just click brew right from here and brew the recipe once you've selected it. But there are some things to consider that you might end up a little bit different. Brewing is a process, and process affects more than you can imagine. Even in something as simple as like just I don't want to say as simple, but even with something like an extract kit versus all grain, even more so with an all grain recipe, you're going to have processes that change a beer. But so too will you have that with extract, and that boil size is one of them. So I just wanted to give you a relatively short overview of how to use and choose recipes using the search feature. So now if I wanted here to find a stout to brew that's based on extract and US, here you go. I now have all these different stouts to choose from. I could have chosen it from the style, but putting it in the name, so typing it there could be a little bit easier sometimes than finding it through that long list of types of beers. Click award winning, and that'll narrow my numbers down. All right. Fermentation stream, I doubt you'll find too many that have it, but here you go. Some people are using those. I have one too. I actually didn't really care for it. I liked just the traditional hydrometer. These are like using a tilt, or I think Speedo makes one. There's a couple different types. Smash beer, you probably won't find that in a stout whatsoever. So here's smash beers for you if you're looking for something along these lines. So, and again, these are all US based units and extract. We could certainly switch this over to metric, and it'll give us a different list. We could switch that over to all grain, and we'll probably get an even bigger list. So this is a short overview of how to use the beer recipe search. I already have a video out there on how to scale. So copy a recipe and scale it. If you need to scale it from 25 liters down to 21, or 44 liters down to 20 or 21, or vice versa. So be sure to check out those recipes. They're helpful to teach you kind of just how to take a recipe and to scale it to your needs. Again, doing that or taking a recipe like this and copying it, I recommend leaving this open and then doing maybe a right click, seeing if you can do that. It actually doesn't look like it's going to allow me to copy it that way, but you could always have 2 windows open and do it this way, and then just go back to the recipe search, find the same recipe. So you could have it open that way you can see these numbers and try to match them when you're converting your recipe to your needs. If you decide to do that, as you can see here, I could simply click brew, and again, I'd want to make sure that I'm paying attention to the pre-boil size, the batch size, because these things all kind of, you're going to want to make sure you try to hit these types of numbers if you're looking to do exactly what that individual created. Remember, brewing is a process, and our process affects how the brew tastes. Anyway, hope you found this helpful. I hope searching for beer recipes is something you try to utilize in Brewer's Friend, and let us know on the forums how it worked out. Thanks for tuning in.